a story on the internet about the seven fires of the Anishinabi. The prophecy of the Anishinabi. Then 7 prophets appeared to the people. The first prophet told the people that in the time of the first fire, they would leave their homes by the sea and follow the sign of the Magus. They were to journey west into strange lands in search of an island in the shape of a turtle. This island will be linked to the purification of the earth. Such an island was to be found at the beginning and at the end of their journey. Along the way, they would find a river connecting 2 large sweet water seas. This river would be narrow and deep, as though a knife had cut through the land. They would stop 7 times to create villages, but they would know that their journey was complete when they found food growing on the water. If they did not leave, there would be much suffering and they would be destroyed. And they would be pursued and attacked by the other nations along the way, so that must be strong and ready to defend themselves. The second prophet told them they could recognize the second fire because they were camped by a sweet water sea. They would lose their direction, that the dreams of a little boy would point the way back to the true path, the stepping stones to their future. The third prophet said that in the third fire, the Anishinabi would find the path to the lands prepared for them, and they would continue their journey west to the place where food grows upon the water. The fourth prophet was 2 who came as one. The first told them to expect a race of people who had light skin. The future of the Anishinabi would be known by the face the light-skinned people would wear. If they come in brotherhood, there would be a time of wonderful change. New knowledge would be joined with the old knowledge, and the 2 peoples would join to make a mighty nation. 2 other nations would join to make 4, and they would become the mightiest nation of all. If they brought only their knowledge and their goodwill, they would be like brothers. The second being of the fourth prophet warned the light-skinned race might wear the face of death. That would almost look the same as the face of brotherhood. If they come carrying a weapon, and if they seem to be suffering, beware. Behold, this face is greed. You shall recognize the face of death, if the rivers are poisoned and the fish are unfit to eat. The fifth prophet said that in the time of the 5th fire, there will be a struggle between the way of the mind of the light-skinned people and the natural path of spirit of the many nations of natural people. As the fire loses its heat, there will come among the people those who promise great joy and salvation. If the people accept this promise and abandon the old ways, the struggle will continue for many generations. This promise is false, and it will nearly destroy those who accept it. The 6th prophet told them that in the time of 6th fire, it would be clear that the promise accepted during the 5th fire was false. Those who were deceived by this promise will take their children away from the teachings of the elders. The elders will lose their purpose in life, and many will become sick and die. Many people will be out of balance, and the cup of life will become the cup of grief. The 7th prophet was younger than the others, would come, and there was a glowing light from his eyes. He said there would come a time when the waters had been so poisoned that the animals and plants that lived there would fall sick and begin to die. Much of the forests and prairies would be gone, so the air would begin to lose the power of life. The way of the mind, brought to the red, black, and yellow nation by the white nation, danger to the whole earth. In this time, there will be a new people who will emerge from the clouds of illusion. They will retrace their steps to find the treasures that had been left by the trail. The stories that had been lost will be returned to them. They will remember the original instructions and find strength in the way of the circle. Their search will take them to the elders, and the new people will ask for guidance. But many of the elders will have walked the path of the souls to the star web. Many elders will have forgotten their wisdom, and they will not be able to help. Some of the elders will point in the wrong direction, and others will remain silent because of their fear. Some of the elders will be silent because no one has asked them for their wisdom. That's deep. It goes on. If the new people will find trust in the way of all things, in the circle, they will no longer need the selfish voice of the ego, and they can begin to trust their inner voice. Wisdom will once again be found in dreams of the night and of the day. The sacred fire will once again be lit. The light-skinned people will be given a choice between two paths. If they choose the right path, the seventh fire will light the eighth fire, and the final fire of brotherhood and sisterhood. If they choose the wrong path, remaining on the path of the mind, then the destruction they brought with them will come back to destroy them. People of the earth will experience much suffering and death. The prophecies are fulfilled, but for the seventh.